This person is probably one of the most respected people that I know. He's obviously a very successful businessman, but also very giving of his time, serving on several local boards and also state boards as well.
This Springfieldian has been involved in so many things. Development, he has been involved in philanthropic work, he's been involved in the university, he's been involved in government relations. I mean, when you think of people in Springfield that are connected to our city, this person immediately pops to mind.
This person's been involved in so many things in our community for decades. He's curious, he's analytical, but he's also a real problem solver. And there are all kinds of places in Springfield that you can see how those traits have really made this person make a difference.
If I was to explain who the honoree is in 3 words, one of those words would be service. I think he brings a heart and a body of service to it.
I would say makes things happen. He's often not out in front, but very much a part of that initiative being successful.
Curious, capable, analytical.
I think I would say determined, engaged, and committed.
This person asks the hard questions. They're very much a part of getting things done. Again, behind the scenes, they'll work with anybody. It doesn't matter what party. And really the primary focus is to get to the best solution for our community.
Fiscal competence. At a crucial time for the state. He was the leader the state needed in both of those areas to make sure that we could continue our progress, yet make the difficult financial decisions that had to be made.
I think he spent so much of his time giving advice to others. It's hard to really appreciate how curious he is, how many questions he asks, how much he wants to know, and how willing he is to go out and find out the things he doesn't know. Maybe that's what makes him such a good advisor to other people.
I actually got to know this person quite a bit before I came to Springfield as the airport director. I worked with him when he was first appointed by the governor on the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, and he was tasked with getting in and working with me on some railroad issues. And trust me, we had some challenging issues. We both learned a lot together, worked to improve intercity passenger rail in the state of Missouri, and as a result became pretty good friends.
I served with or for this person on our Board of Governors, and going into something with a person who's been a friend for a long time, you thought you knew how it would go, and yet he pushed us to be better, he challenged us to do things differently, and he was very much committed to making sure the university was as good as it could be.
You know, most people think of this person as a very quiet individual, which is true, but I was very impressed and might be surprised to know when I traveled with him to DC on some meetings, the guy knows everybody, and he knows everybody and they all know him. So I was just surprised the amount of quiet influence that he has.
Well, I began to see Joe as a young lawyer in the courthouse when I was there as a county official. He was just there working as a young lawyer. I began to see him more and more get involved in politics, and I often thought he was spending a little too much time in that part of politics. But we have been good friends, and good friends for a long time.
I met Joe when we were both practicing law, and he brought a very interesting case involving another lawyer over to our firm, and we worked that together, and that was probably almost 30 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Despite being, outwardly very committed to business and economic development, and he is truly a committed husband and father and loves his family, amazing grandfather. I don't know if that's surprising or not, but it's refreshing.
Joe and I met on a blind date in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He was in law school there, and I was in the English department working on a master's. He was cute and funny and kind, and it was kind of a whirlwind romance. But in typical Joe fashion, he proposed to me in kind of a quirky way. He actually proposed to me at this little dive restaurant called the Chicken Hut. It was totally unromantic. There was no champagne and flowers, just chicken. But I said yes anyway, and this year we'll celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. Joe's a native Springfieldian. He went all through grade school here and high school, and when the time came for him to go to college, he chose SMS. So Joe has a very personal connection to Missouri State, and the time he spent teaching there, the time he spent on the Board of Governors, and the time he spent on the foundation, all those were ways for him to give back to an institution that was so important in his personal success.
I am the other Joe Carmichael. My dad and I may not look a lot alike, but we sure sound alike. This was kind of a problem in high school when my friends would call the house and Dad would answer the phone and speak to them as if he were me. As a father, it was a given that he expected Katie and I to treat others with kindness and respect. Not doing so would definitely land us in trouble. My sister and I may have been occasionally challenging growing up. As a result, I can tell you that my dad is most certainly a patient man.
He is without a doubt the most optimistic and happy person I know. You know that song, Happy Days Are Here Again? Well, in Joe's world, happy days are always here. And that's just such a wonderful way to go through life.
Dad has an incredibly endearing sense of humor. Mom says it is his greatest blessing. In his words, if you can't have fun at it, it's probably not worth doing.
Well, Joe generally has a good time wherever he goes. He loves his family and friends, he loves this community, and of course he loves politics. And although he's a Democrat, we are blessed to have very dear friends on both sides of the aisle.
My dad was second-generation Navy. He carries a deep love for this country. Part of that love for this country is a love for our sometimes messy political process. He loves the idea that we live in a place where you can campaign, speak about your views, and if you win people over, make substantive change. Growing up, we were so lucky to be in this environment. Through Dad, we have gotten to meet so many amazing people on both sides of the aisle, from governors to sitting presidents. This all left me with a feeling that the world is smaller than it seems. We are all a lot more alike than you might think.
Okay, Mr. Carmichael, I know you're going to hate this recognition, but I am so happy you are receiving this very deserved honor. I'm very proud of you, to know you, and thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Joe, couldn't be prouder of you. Congratulations on being named Springfieldian of the Year, an earned honor for you. And don't forget Marie. She was always involved and always helpful and continues to be in all of your successes. So I wish you the best, and I'm confident that with this additional honor you have, you'll continue to use the profile you have built as a leader in your community to provide great things for this region.
Joe, congratulations. I can't think of anyone who deserves this award more than you.
Joe, congratulations. What a great Springfieldian of the Year.
We are so grateful for having you in our lives and love you very much. Congratulations on being named the Chamber's Springfieldian of the Year.
So in closing, I'd just like to say a couple of things to you, Joe. First of all, I hope you can forgive me for keeping this a secret from you. And I also want you to know how very proud the kids and I are of you. And I hope tonight you realize how appreciated and loved you are by this community that you hold so dear. Congratulations.